Okay, so you should have a completed report now, but one of the things we want you to do before you submit a draft is spell check and make sure there's a couple of things that are going on. So we have a whole checklist, but these are some of the conventions that we want you to follow. So here is satisfactory communication used throughout the report and a basic scientific layout. So following our titles as per this sheet. So if your experiment doesn't have those titles outlined on that template or in that scaffold that's been used, then you probably need to go back and fix that. So layout, get that right. So let's make a list. Okay, so we've got 14. Layout, following titles in like the scaffold template or the back of task sheet. We're going to check your spell check. And I've just closed Word, but I'm going to reopen it. Okay, so I have opened up a document. If I want to check spelling, I go to Review, Spelling and Grammar. I think there is an F something key. I just can't remember what it is. So Spelling and Grammar, and it checks. It's going through all of this and looking for double spaces, grammar and spelling. Okay, so go through, make sure it's all good. So we're checking for that. Spell check. Use computer. And then go through and read to make sense. Now this is a bit tricky. I know that I'm really guilty of this because I can read something over and over again, especially if I've written it and I don't see those little mistakes. So you might ask someone really nicely, like someone who's like a friend or whoever, to read over it and just to see that it does make sense. Okay. Or notice that you're looking for your teal paragraph. So see if you can identify paragraphs. Read to make sense and check for paragraph structure. Well, let's make that a new point, hey? Graphs. Now I want to make sure that our captions on tables are on the top and figures, so it's like, and graphs are below. Okay, you've included a graph with conventions. So titles, X's, X marks for data points, and scales. Yep, and what else have we got? Graphs, those, and making sure that you have, I think that's it. Like what we're looking for. Oh, if you've taken any photos or anything like that of your experiment, you can put them in your appendices. So photos attached to an appendix. So just like the human appendix, which is like a very small organ that we don't actually really need anymore, your appendix is like a part of your report. So it's there as like a supplementary or like a an additional resource to help the reader understand what you might be trying to explain via diagrams or your methodology. So that might be something there to help you out. It might also have like other formulas that you might have included or things like that in your that are relevant to your task but aren't really needed for the main report because they're not asked for in here, but it helps enhance the communication that you are producing in your report. So remember, how we're identifying or how we're assessing your ability to communicate is that it's still a communication of understanding, finding arguments and conclusion, so following that body, but so it's always that, and then obviously using scientific language, so making sure that you are incorporating words like forces and frictions, the appropriate representations, scientific diagrams, graphs, algorithms, and you're following genre conventions. So these are all the things. Sourcing information through appropriate referencing and referencing convention. So, oops, they're not the same. Referencing conventions. Now you may have learned about in-text referencing. So you need to follow your APA style in your student planner for anything that you may have used. I will be going through that in class with everyone as using our school textbook as a example. Okay, and then obviously the difference here between these two tiers on this dot is effective and adequate. Again, using your glossary and your task sheet to distinguish between the two. And then what we're looking for is that to get up here, you need to have most of these 3 points to meet this 2-mark criteria. So in here you might have fluent, appropriate, but you might not have got the referencing. You'll still get a 2. Okay, so down here it's like you might have had competent, basic, but you didn't have the basic referencing conventions. It's a 1. If you have 2 down here, 1 down here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, is that you are being effective by doing these 3 things. You are adequate by doing these 3 things. If you're a mix of these, it really depends on where the majority sits. So fluent and concise means like you're writing clearly, and concise means to the point. So if we've got really long paragraphs, it means that you're not writing concisely. We want quality, not quantity. Okay. Appropriate. So appropriate use of the genre means that you are actually following like the title headings and doing all of these things to make sure that you are following the appropriate use of the genre. And then using APA style if you're going to do the sourcing of information. Basic referencing might be like textbook. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, the difference between those. There's competent, basic, and basic. Fluent and concise, appropriate, and appropriate. Okay, so that is how we're assessing you on your student experiment from start to finish in lots of videos. If you have any questions, come and ask your teachers, come and find me. And we hope that you are going to be successful with this. All the best to you. Good luck. Don't forget to save your work. And if you're ever in doubt, email your teacher the copy that you're currently working on. It'll save you a lot of dramas. Okay? Stay awesome. Cheers. Bye.